to be able to come in here against an ACC team, a defensive-minded team like that, and first of all, shoot 44% for us is pretty good. Thank you so much. We a lot of respect for this program, for Coach Brownell and his staff. So we made just enough plays to withstand the debacle at the end against the pressure. So very, very pleased with how Dexter Dennis defended Marquise Reed. He was tremendous. And I thought the biggest offensive performer we had was Jamie. And he went to work down low and got us some buckets to give us the lead in the second half.
Coach Thompson obviously doesn't press a whole lot. What was making it difficult there for you at the end of the full court press?
Just bad decisions. You know, we obviously didn't make great decisions. We, instead of calling timeout or getting it to an open receiver, we just panicked and threw the ball away a couple times. And you know, they get credit for that because they were pressing and they were down and they were a little bit desperate. You have to do that when you're down. I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. You saw that this team kind of really, I guess, stayed strong throughout the whole game. What were you guys ever talking about from the last game to this one to not let down, not let go of that momentum and not fall under pressure?
Well, in this type scenario, you know, our goal is to get back to New York, take Marcus home. In the interim, we're taking Coach Lou Godino home from Indiana. So, but in order to do that, you know, you're on the road. You got to be 7 points better, and today that happened. So we end up winning by 8, but you got to fight through adversity. You got to fight through the crowd, and you got to want it more. And I thought our guys really played hard. They played hard. They defended well. They rebounded well. We out-rebound a much bigger team. And, you know, our defense was really, really good.
What did you like from Jamie, especially there to start the second half?
Well, he got the ball and made a couple of moves. And then after he made the couple of moves, he had a shot fake that drew a foul. He made three-pointers in the first half. He looked beautiful, ball coming out of his hand. The way they were guarding the ball screen, he was able to just release and what we call a short roll, and was standing there wide open. But you know, he got to make those to make him pay, and he did 2 out of 3. But he looked like a real go-to low post scorer early in the second half.
Greg, you just mentioned a couple of homecomings for members of your team. You've got some roots obviously here. Did this make it any more extra special to not only win today, but you won last week at Furman, and you're not too far from your Greenwood roots? You know,
I've got a lot of family members here, my mom, my dad, cousins, aunts, uncles, some cousins that I haven't even met before. So in the last couple of weeks, we've been to South Carolina twice. We've been to South Carolina 3 times this year and played a total of 5 games, including the Charleston Classic in November. And we've been to the East Coast 10 times this year. So we're well-traveled. Thank goodness we charter every time we leave the ground. And, you know, we got wheels up at 5 o'clock today, but we're going to be a little late, it appears. But we're heading to, I guess, Bloomington. So wonderful to see my friends and family, as many as were allowed in the locker room, help celebrate that victory. And I've got former players from Winthrop. I've got former players from Wichita State here. So it's the X-Man is here from Columbia, Xavier McDaniel, Greg Lewis, Pierre Wooten from Winthrop days. It's like a homecoming. So I've got the alumni director at the College of Charleston, who I used to play tennis with when I was a young whippersnapper and could still play tennis, is here. So just a great outpouring of friends and family.
And then to have the Shocker community here. I've interviewed a lot of people here so far that came from Wichita to see this game.
Yeah.
To your fans right now and for the team, what do you have to say to them, and how important is it to have that support?
Well, I mean, we have the most loyal fans in the country. A group, the way we were playing early on this year, most fan bases would have either ignored us or been very apathetic at the best, and some would have come, some not. But we never played with less than a full house. I've been there 12 years, and 12 straight years, with 10,506 people, there's never been a crowd less than 10,000. So I don't care who we're playing. We could play a small school from any state in a union, or we could play Duke or Kansas. So we're going to fill the place. And what they did this year when things weren't looking so bright for us was not turn on us, but really dig in and try to boost us up and help raise these young players and help instill confidence in these young players instead of being negative. And that's a teaching point for all of us in life. You know, those kids weren't trying to throw the ball away. They weren't trying to blow defenses. They were just brand spanking new to Division I, 10 of them. So indebted to our Shocker fans. We travel as well as anybody in the country, probably short of the Big Blue Nation. And it's just amazing to see yellow and black no matter where we go.
What did you like from Dexter specifically? What did he
His length was tremendous. He did a wonderful job. I mean, he played tonight. He played 38 minutes because I could only take him out when Marquise Reed was out. And Marquise Reed played 38 minutes. So if you noticed, we subbed him out as soon as we saw Reed go out of the game. But he was dynamite with his positioning, his length, bothered Reed on pull-ups, and he blocked several shots at the rim. And you're talking about a 6'5" freshman who's got a very bright future. I love Reed's game. When I watch Reed, for Kansas fans, people in Kansas, he reminds me of Barry Brown, how he gets to the mid-range and can score. But tonight, because of Dexter's length and the way we were defending the ball screen there, our bigs were really committed to the ball. It was difficult for him, and I'm sure he probably missed some shots that he normally makes because when you watch him on film, he's just dynamite. Nobody scores 19-plus a game in the ACC and not a very, very, very fine player. So I thought our guys did a really good job on Elijah Thomas, the three-headed monster in the post. When that kid goes 2 for 8 and Marquise Reed goes 5 for 20, you got to give IB, Coach Isaac Brown, some credit for that game plan. 7 for 28, 25% for 2 pros. You know, I don't know if they're NBA guys, but they're going to play it for a long time for a lot of money.
And with Assembly Hall, have you any
Back in the day when I was assistant at the College of Charleston, I believe, I drove. There was a triangle, I think it was Lexington, Louisville, and Bloomington. And there was like 3 different recruiting deals up in that neck of the woods. So I drove it. And one of the stops was Bloomington, and it was the only time I've ever been in Bloomington. And I literally drove up just to be on the outside. I didn't go inside Assembly Hall, but I saw Coach Bob Knight walk out of his office, I guess, or the arena at a distance. I didn't say hello to him at that point. I didn't know him. But I've never been inside. I understand that they had a great crowd yesterday for Arkansas, and I anticipate the same tomorrow with a trip to Madison Square Garden on the line. Well, he was a good defender all along, but remember, Paul, he was always putting his hands on people. You know, he just didn't know how to play defense and show his hands. So instead of now reaching out like he's a forklift or Edward Scissorhands, he's putting his hands up and using that length to contest shots and alter passes.
with this team, you know, to win five in a row on the road? What's it say about this team? They just keep finding. You look back at how you guys won this game. What does it kind of say about this team?
Well, I mean, I don't know. You got to go back and do the research, but I still think from 2010 to now, we're the single best road team in the country, and that's even with how bad we were on the road early this year. I don't know if that fact still stands. Does it? Now, okay, we're second because we've struggled on the road early this year. But would you say we won 5 in a row now on the road? Listen, I would have taken that. If you'd have told me in January that we would have won 5 games on the road and it would be March the 24th and we would still be playing in the NIT with a chance to go to Madison Square Garden, I would have said, I'll bet you anything in the world that that's not going to happen. So here we are.